there, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for your patience. Here we are, the next video in our series. My esteemed and gorgeous partner will be joining me very soon. She had to go grab some water. You know, things are a little crazy around here. Maybe it's quiet around your house. It's not very quiet here, is it?
Nope.
All right, well, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody was really nervous when they first saw the video. They're like, oh shit, Terry's
watch
not
him.
there. We never have to watch him, do we? Coach Alfalfa. Right? She calls me Coach Alfalfa because there's always some part of my hair that's sticking up in the back. Remember that Alfalfa video? Some of those folks watching this are too young to know who Alfalfa is.
The Little Rascals. Go Google it if you don't know who it is.
That's right. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us and for your patience. We got a little crazy this weekend. We didn't get this video shot, but here we are. We're moving into the next step of our get-up, which is coming back down from standing. These steps are a little tricky. There's a couple of little things. I've got the advantage of having taught this exercise for about 10 years now. So I know what are the most common errors, and we'll point that out, okay? So without further ado, we're going to start from standing, come into half kneeling. I'm going to have Tara facing in this direction, and then we'll spin things around a little bit so you get a chance to see it from all angles. We're going to get about halfway down in this video today, and then tomorrow we'll finish the descending steps of the get-up and then put it all together. So I'm not going to give you too much to chew on with today. Hopefully you're practicing all of the steps that have led up to today, and also making sure to do it on both sides. And be aware of where there's some asymmetry from one side to the next, right, Tara?
Always.
Yeah, so one of the wonderful things about this exercise as an assessment for our body and how we're moving is we can instantly notice where one shoulder may be more or less stable or mobile than the other, where one hip doesn't want to work in the same way as another. We're doing lunging, squatting patterns here, so we can find out pretty quickly which side or pattern feels a little less comfortable for us. That lets us know a little bit more about our body and clues us into areas of opportunity, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's go from standing. I'm going to have you come forward just a little bit. Let's go from standing to half kneeling. Be careful with this step, by the way, and as I mentioned, this can be tough on the knees, so make sure you've got a soft cushion surface, put a yoga mat out, some towels, whatever is good for you, and some knee pads are never a bad idea. So come back into half kneeling for us, Tara. So you're going to step back with the opposite side leg of the arm that is posted. Now, this next step to prepare to go into bend is critical. And I'll point out here what you need to be aware of. First of all, adjust the front leg if you need to get stable and feel comfortable here. What we're going to do with this back leg hip is we're going to pinwheel this leg. Now, before Terry pinwheels, what I'm going to point out to you is the shape that we need to come into, and I think of it as the letter L, okay? Or think of it as a large V. So go ahead and pinwheel that leg, Tara. Good. So she's spun that leg around. This sets her up for the next step. Now when I say the letter V, here's what we're talking about. If we look at the direction of her front leg or foot, and we look at the direction of this leg, what we essentially end up with is the letter V. It's a right angle, if you will. And that's what we want to focus on. Okay, now Tara, for our purposes right now, come out of the pinwheel and come back into half kneeling. So this is a good movement to practice. You're unweighting one side so that you can pinwheel and bring that foot around. Also, not going too quickly here. Make sure we pause and notice all the things that are going on here. Remember, once you come into half kneeling, as you're going up and you go to standing, your gaze goes to straight forward or straight ahead. So when you come back down, you're also looking straight ahead. All right, Tara, so do me a favor, go back up to standing here. It's always really good to chunk an exercise like the Turkish get-up. Put it into pieces and just practice these steps. So come on down for me, Tara. Into half kneeling, pinwheel the leg. Your gaze is still forward. Now unpinwheel, come back into half kneeling. So she could go back to standing. Now she's just practicing this lunging pattern and also this pinwheel. All right, good. Do me a favor if you would, Tara. Spin around so that you're now facing the opposite direction and everyone can see that pinwheel. Okay? So come forward just a little bit. Just making sure you're in the camera. Good. Excellent. So go ahead and come back from standing to half kneeling. If you need to separate and widen your base of support a little bit, that's a really good idea. Remember, we're packing this shoulder, right? Keep the core engaged. Now she's going to go ahead and pinwheel that leg for us. So again, this is that virtual or imaginary line of the leg straight forward, and this is the line, imaginary or virtual line of the back leg, hence creating a right angle here. All right, so that's what you want to look at. Okay, very good. Rest for a second, Tara. The next position that we're going to come into prepares us to sweep the leg underneath us so that we can come back to the floor. Okay, and if you would, Tara, I'm going to ask you so that everybody can see it. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and just go through those steps. So depending on where everybody is at with their practice, they may not have seen this happen in real time. So go from standing to half kneeling to the pinwheel to the sweep, okay? Where you're going to reach down to the floor, sweep your leg, and then prepare to lower yourself down. So this will give you a chance to kind of see these steps in real time. And then we're going to step back and go over the hip hinge, all right? Whenever you're ready. I know you got to think about it for a second, right? As is always the case. I know I do, that's for sure. She makes it look easy. Drives you crazy, right? I know it drives me crazy. Okay, next step is hinge, reach down, gaze comes up. Now support yourself here and get ready to sweep the leg and come into high pelvis. This is bend, this is high pelvis. And you want to reposition that leg, right? Or that foot. There you go, good. All right, good. Now, sweep, under, come back into bend, and then half kneeling. All right, excellent. Now, come to standing. You're doing a great job. Do you need a rest? Are you good? All right, spin back around. We're going to go over how to get into the position to set up the sweep. And this will be the last thing we'll cover in this video today. And this is tricky. I invite you to watch this video, if you can stand it, a number of times to see these little subtle points because they are important. Why are they important? Because this exercise does two things incredibly well, if it's done well. The first thing it does is it helps you move better. You're building movement skills here. You're getting your hip working as it should. We're getting the spine to be more stable and also to move where it needs to, which is through the thoracic area. We're building leg strength and lunging patterns and squatting patterns. So this exercise helps you to move better if done well, right? The other thing it does is you can get really strong with this exercise just by upping the weight, right? Because it really, it transforms into an incredibly challenging exercise with a lot of weight. So both of these things can be accomplished in this exercise, but in order to get those benefits, we need to really pattern these things well. So these details become very important. All right, good. Thank you. I'll stop talking and we'll start demoing. Come into half kneeling. Come right down to half kneeling. Pinwheel that leg. Okay, now, here's the critical and tricky step. She is going to, we'll spin around so you can see this again on the other side. She needs to get this arm, her left arm, down onto the floor. Maintain this arm as posted, right? So how is she going to get this left arm down onto the floor? And the way that she's going to do it is she's going to hinge at her hip. So I've got my fingers right now right on the big bony bits on either side of her hips. These are her hip joints. What we don't want to do is twist at the spine. We want to move through the hips. So I'm going to ask her to push her butt back toward the wall. That's how we're going to do it. And as she pushes her butt back toward the wall, pushing this way, find the floor with the left arm. So she's not going to reach for the floor. She's going to find it by pushing her butt back. And as she does that, the third element of this move is her eyes will return to looking toward the ceiling. Push the butt back, find the floor, look toward the ceiling anytime you're ready. Excellent. Perfectly done. Very nice. So she's maintained stability of her trunk, her core, everything's solid here. And other than a little bit of rotation through the thoracic spine, everything's as it should. All right, good. Let's spin around and look at that from the other side. Very well done, Tara. Thank you so much. Okay. This is tricky, but again, the benefit here is we're getting the hips working and moving as they should. So go ahead and come down into half kneeling. We'll pinwheel one more time. This is a good angle to see this. So again, how is she going to find the floor with her left arm? That's all she's going to do. If she reached for the floor, she could twist and lose integrity of her core. We don't want that to happen. So again, the cue, push your butt back toward the back, behind you, basically. Push your butt back toward the railing is what I'll ask her to do. Eyes to the ceiling, find the floor. The floor will be there. As you hinge, the floor will find you. Give it a try. And eyes go up. Excellent. And what she comes back into, as you can see, is that nice T, right? So she's got good support from all sides, good muscular skeletal stacking of this arm through the shoulder and back to the fist. Very good, baby. Thank you. All right, here we go. There you have it. Tricky steps. Once we've covered, we'll cover that. We covered that today. And then, what are we going to do tomorrow? We're going to do the sweep, right?
Yep.
Sounds good? Okay.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you for your patience. I know this is posted a little late. Good job once again by my trusty assistant. Now, back to work. Okay, you can take the rest of the day off.
Oh, all right, thanks.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Nice work. Thanks again for joining us. Remember, you can do this. It's not that hard. It just takes a little practice and a little mindful attention and focus. And believe me, it's worth it. It's worth it, right?
Yep.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.